Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between.
Hi guys, welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. So glad you are here tonight. We have a bonus episode. I'm here with Jesper and Steve from Carstar Impact of Cascade. And we're going to kind of just talk about what you need to do before the winter in regards to the outside of your car. He doesn't fix the inside, only the outside. So
some of the inside, I think, right?
well,
yeah, we're doing some inside detailing too.
well, detail, but you don't fix it.
Correct.
Although
Fixing it is replacing it.
So
yes.
what happens if you had a seat that was like sliding around? Would you fix that?
Like sliding around,
Like loose or something?
yeah, we could fix that.
You're just gonna
probably a rusted floorboard. and the
Well,
seat-
no, I was just I don't know. That's the first thing that popped into my head. So,
I can't remember the last time I fixed a sliding seat.
well, I feel like mine is a little loose. I don't. Every once in a while, I kind of feel it go, and I don't know if that's just its power. I don't know if there's just a little slop in the power mechanism, or if there's actually a bolt loose.
I'm telling you, I had an old Ford once, and that seat would just go loose all the time. I changed it 2 times.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we supposed to do to the cars before that white stuff falls on the ground, Steve?
Well, a lot of people think that you're going to do a detail in the spring. You know, they say, well, let's wait till after the winter and all that good stuff. But with the waxes and the ceramics out there now, the key is to have it done before winter hits. Because the hydrophobic principles of the wax and that is to keep the stuff repelled off of it.
Okay.
So when you look at a car when it makes it through the wintertime, and you're looking at mostly like the back of the cars, they used to call it rail dust. It's like this orange little spots that end up on the back of your car.
Especially white cars.
Especially white cars, silver cars really stands out.
Yeah.
So what that is, several theories on it, but it's like the high metallic brakes.
Okay.
That stuff will go to the back. Usually on the lower part of the car, works all the way to the back. So that stuff is in the water and it's sticking to the car, and then it dries out, that sticks to it, and it starts to rust. And that's where it's not the car rusting, it's the stuff that's landing on the car that's rusting.
Okay.
So that's where those little spots come from.
And what does that do to the finish?
Well, when you picture a finish of a car, everything is you've heard mirror finish.
Sure.
So the flatter, the smoother it is, the shinier it is, and the more that it repels water.
Okay.
So when you're looking at ceramics and different waxes and that's where it gets the depth, because you're actually taking those grooves and you're taking all those things out of the finish.
Okay.
So when you look at cars that have that on there, it's actually biting into the finish of the car.
Okay.
So acid rain, that bites into that finish of the car. Bird poop, tree sap, all of that stuff is eating into the clear coat of the car.
Okay.
Clear coats nowadays are so thin. We had Toyota in the shop that we were actually prepping the other panels for paint. And what you have to do is you take like a gray Scotch Brite. It's just a really mild sandpaper. Mm-hmm. And just by scuffing that across the surface, we were actually going through the clear coat. And you would get into the color of the car, because the manufacturers are trying to get their emissions down any way possible, and not just the emissions of what the car puts out, but the emissions they're using to make the cars.
Right.
So they're thinning out their clear coats. When you look at some newer cars nowadays, they've got that really orange peely, you really can't see yourself in the car finish. That's because they're putting it on so thin, so dry, so quick, trying to get that quick cure, that it doesn't have the shine, the build, the thickness that it did years ago. So that's part of the issue, is it's so thin, you need to get that protection on it.
Okay.
So those spots, those quote unquote rust spots, which aren't the car rusting, but the spots rusting, right? Whatever's on there.
Yep.
I know that's been a problem at all our trucks at work are white. So we've had problems with that, and we've never really found anything that can get that off. Do you know anything offhand that's you can buy like in a auto parts store that would get that off without?
We've got some new product out there. A lot of the product that we use, you have to be licensed to buy it.
Oh, okay.
So that we have one, it's insane. I think we put a couple on our Facebook page, pictures of it, and Reflection Auto Detailing. It's another company that we opened up. You spray it on, and it turns every contaminant on a car purple.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So you know where it's at.
Yep, you know where it's at, and you can just watch this stuff fall down.
Whoa.
And the only thing is it smells like a skunk or an Enterprise rent-a-car. I mean,
It'll give you cancer. That's why you need a license.
it smells absolutely horrible.
Right.
But
It works.
Stuff works incredible. Yeah,
So it is possible to get them off,
it is.
but you need
Yep.
you need a licensed body shop.
Well, you can spend it's how much time you want to spend on it. So
Sure.
like you've heard of clay bar.
Yep.
So that is it's clay, and you actually wipe it across the surface of the car, and what that clay does is it grabs those little particles that are sticking out from the surface,
Okay.
and it actually just rips them off the car, breaks them right off the car.
Huh. But a lot of elbow grease.
Extremely time.
Does clay bar work for sap too?
Not usually.
No.
It'll get kind of smeary.
Okay.
They have different. There's bug and sap removers that you can buy.
Okay.
And
I know my son had,
those.
my older son used to detail when he was in high school, and he said clay bar he used that a lot. So
Oh, yeah.
he recommend that for the sap. So I have to yell at him.
It depends on how old the sap is too, because if
True.
you look at some of these cars, if it just fell on in the last week or so, it'll just smear and smear and smear.
Well, especially even I noticed I had some. I think I might still have some sap on mine, but it gets
have
hot in
not
the sun. You can tell. You can touch it. It's still tacky.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but so you talked about the light clear coat. So it's important to get a coat of wax on it. I presume that's where you're heading with that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So what about a wax that I mean, we all have the $30 monthly membership at Mister. We need to get them as a sponsor. And they obviously the upper levels, the $30 puts some sort of wax on it. I'm sure it's thin.
Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about the car wash wax to talk about it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm sure it's just as thin as the clear coat on the body.
Right.
It's extremely thin.
Right.
I will say something about car washes, and there's a lot of good car washes out there for sure. But when you've got someone like me with a full-size Chevy truck that just went up north and ran down the dirt roads, and I go in front of you,
That's true.
it is doing nothing but abrasive tearing up of your paint.
I will say that Mister is pretty particular about trucks. I've seen them turn trucks away, and they also look in the beds every single time
Yeah.
before they send those trucks
Yeah,
through.
if you've got a fifth wheel in the back, because that's grease on a fifth wheel hitch,
Ooh,
they won't let you run through.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense because they get all over the what do you call those?
brushes.
Brushes,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, yep.
So let me ask you a different question then. So what happens if you come to your new company? What's the name again?
Reflection.
Reflection.
Hold on one sec. Would you mind moving your phone over there?
Oh,
There,
Thank
it
you.
stopped.
yeah.
It's so weird, and it's not the cellular I thought it was.
Oh.
It's basically anytime it gets close to a mic, I heard it earlier, and then it went
Yeah,
away, and then it
yeah.
was like longer. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna. I can cut this out.
Yeah, interference.
Go ahead with your question.
So what I was gonna say is, so if I go to take my car to Precision, what was it called again? I'm sorry.
Reflection.
Reflection.
Yep.
So if I take my car to Reflection and I have him do the winter treatment,
Yep.
what happens to that if I still want to drive my vehicle every weekend? And so when I drive, I will always go to the car wash before that. So is your treatment, is it gonna be is the car wash going to like negate the treatment a lot, and would I have to go through it again? What do you know what I'm asking?
Sure.
I mean, the benefit. How long is the benefit of your treatment going to be there? Given if I go through the car wash 2 or 3 times a week.
It depends on what stage you want. So if you're looking for ceramic coating, or if you're looking just for a wax, or if you're looking for, they have ceramic coatings that are 10-year ceramic coatings.
Oh,
Okay.
Anytime you go through a car wash, anytime you wash your car, anytime you wipe it down, it is abrasives touching your car.
Sure.
So that's, no matter what you do, it's still going to get scratches in it.
Sure.
And they're just going to be real light. Sometimes when you look at it, it looks like almost like a spider web, kind of that real light scratches through it. The key when you do a wax job or when you do a ceramic job, that's the latest craze is ceramics.
I was gonna say I've never even heard of that. So
Really?
nope.
Oh, man.
So why don't you tell a few minutes and talk about what?
If you have to do it by hand, I'm not interested.
well, Steve will do it for us.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For sure. So ceramics, basically think of a wax that lasts 6 months to 10 years. So when you're looking at putting a finish on a car, the key to ceramics or to any wax is to prep the paint out properly. So when you're looking at a finish of a car and you can see yourself in it, that means there's no scratches. Because what happens is when you get little scratches in a car, it actually breaks the light up.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
As it's going down onto the car, it's reflecting in different directions.
Okay.
So if you've got a perfectly smooth, perfectly flat, dark car, and you can see yourself, looks like a mirror, all of your scratches are gone. So the key is to get it like that first before you apply the protection.
That makes sense.
And then when you're adding that protection to it, it's just a film that is protecting what you've just created.
Okay.
So when they talk about, and the technology is moving extremely fast in the detail and paint area of cars. It used to be, you had the old buffer with a big wool pad on it, spinning at 4,000 RPM. And so now they've got different buffers that actually, it's a 6-access point. So it's a 21 millimeter throw. So it goes out, comes back, it turns, it goes out again at 6 different points of that. So it doesn't actually spin, it kind of rotates and moves at the same time. So that doesn't create the swirl marks that you see in cars. A lot of times you'll see a car that was just detailed and it's just got swirls.
Yeah, he started thinking about his girlfriend and he was in the same spot and swirled it.
Exactly. He was on his phone checking Facebook.
Right.
Running across the hood. So the key is to get the finish back up. And you can do a 1-step, 2-step, 3-step to prep that paint out to get it ready for the protection. And when you talk about the protection, like the ceramics that we're talking about, we're going to get certified in a ceramic and it'll actually raise the value of your car. So when you look at like NADA, you look at Kelly and it says certified ceramic coating.
Oh.
You add $1,000 to it.
Oh, nice.
I think our highest detail so far has been $2,500.
Woo!
So it is, it's amazing stuff. It really is. And when you take a look at, like we talked about the particles landing on a car and sticking. Well, what you want is that film where it just sheets it off. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you go on YouTube, you can find all kinds of videos of ceramics that guys, there's one, a black, my Chevy truck is black and we've been experimenting like crazy on that truck. There's sections that aren't ceramic. There's sections that are. There's sections where we drop the wash mitt on the ground and wash it.
Whoops.
Not to mention I beat the crap out of it on the weekends, but you can actually, it's coated with salt. Just, that typical Michigan driving, the Michigan camouflage. It's that white milky look from door handles down.
Yeah.
And he takes just a simple power washer to it. And that truck, it still has a little bit of film to it, but it is gone. And none of that stuff sticks. So that's the key, is prepping this stuff before winter. And we're doing door jams too, because that's where a lot of the stuff hangs, gathers, stuff like that, bottoms of the doors.
So what do you guys do in regards to prepping it? When you say prepping it, does that mean washing it? Does that mean buffing it down?
Mostly buffing it.
Okay.
Because that's, well, you get the car in, you wash it, get all the contaminants off it you can.
Yep.
Then we either clay bar it or spray that skunk weed smell
Yeah.
on it, and clears it off. So you get all the contaminants off, and then you rejuvenate the paint.
Okay.
So you're looking at it, and it's just got this hazy, scratchy look to it.
Yep.
And you bring that back to a brilliant shine.
Okay.
And then once you have that shine, then you put your protection over top of that.
So what does something like that cost? I mean, I know it varies depending on how much you want to, what level of ceramic you want to put on that. But if they just wanted the basic whatever, I mean, you can ballpark it. I'm not looking for exact. I was just curious.
Basic 4-door sedan, what we call single step, just bringing it back up.
Yeah.
And then putting a 6-month ceramic on it, you're going to be about $200.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
No, that's actually not too bad.
And then, I mean, thinking about it as a rideshare driver, obviously that brings value back to the car right away, because now, your rating stays up. People like nice looking cars, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So no, I think that's probably earned back
And if
pretty
you're
quickly.
if you're repelling water and you're keeping cleaner, it's less times through a car wash.
So
And I know a lot of you guys have the passes where it's endless
Yeah,
passes
but-
and you go 5 times a day or whatever, but that's cool because it's scratching the car up as you're doing it. So
no, I don't go 5 times. I go once a day. So if they did bring it back, what if they wanted a higher ceramic? So do you do more pre for that, or do you just bring it up the same level and then
you do more steps.
you do more steps?
Yep.
Okay.
You do more steps to bring that back up. You'll get into the point where some of the cars you might even wet sand. So it's basically a jeweler's paper, a 3,000 to 5,000 grit paper.
Okay.
And you'll sand it down a little bit and then buff it, bring that shine back up, and then apply
Okay.
the ceramics.
Okay. So what other things what can we do to get the car ready for the winter? I mean, obviously the coat of wax.
Yep.
If someone just wanted a regular coat of wax, you'll do that too without bringing it back up? Or do you think it's kind of a waste if you don't bring it back up to shine?
It all depends on the car. It depends on what you're looking for.
I mean,
all
I guess
that
it
stuff,
protects it
know.
from some of the
Sure.
garbage.
It never hurts to put that back
It
up.
probably depends if you're looking for actual visual, to be better visually, or just to protect it a little bit from the road grime and stuff like that.
Well, it's kind of one and the same.
Okay.
So if like I said, if it's flat, it's shiny, it looks like a mirror, it's going to protect it even further from the road grime.
Okay.
So the smoother you can get it, the flatter you can get it, the shinier you can get it, the more it's going to protect.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
But one of the things that I have been preaching for years and years and years is WD-40 into the car. So when you open up your door, you'll notice those little weep holes in the bottom of it. That's where the water, if it gets in the door, drains out the bottom. That's also where water gathers,
Right.
and collects. So
Doesn't all drain out.
no, it does not. We put what they call door skins on cars. So a car gets hit in the door, we still use the shell of the door, but the outer skin we peel off and put a new one on. We'll work on cars that are 2 years old and they're starting to rust on the bottom of the doors. And it's just the way the car is built.
Yeah.
And that water settles in there and it just stays.
Yep.
So what I do to all my vehicles, I've done it for years, is I will take WD-40 and I will spray it up inside those doors.
Okay.
So anywhere I can get that hose, I can get it in the fender well, I can get it inside the edge of the hood, all those, and it's usually on your double panels too. So that when you look at a hood, you open it up, you've got the inside panel, it's all kind of crushed zones, it's got holes in it, and then you got the outside skin.
All right.
So you take that hose and put it inside all those little holes, not fill it, but spray it up in there.
Liberally.
Yep.
No, I didn't say that right. You try to say it.
Liberally.
I guess I did say it right.
I thought it sounded right.
I thought it sounded right.
It sounded like I was drunk when I said it.
All right. So you spray that up in there, and that'll go down in between those tight pockets, those tight joints. And WD-40, it was actually, I believe it was water displacement 40.
Yeah.
It was developed by the military. Guys kept stealing it and taking it home, so they finally said, you know what, we're going to patent this and make it and
Right.
sell it. So that is one of the things when you look at you could also undercoat your car yourself. We did, years ago, I think it was a News 8 investigation. This was like 15, 20 years ago. They actually took cars to undercoating places, and they brought them to us, and we took them apart. So they were going to see how well they undercoated them. So we took one apart, and I'll never forget, it had like a 4-inch by 6-inch strip right in the middle of the fender.
Really?
Not where any place where salt would gather, not any place where water would gather, any of that. And there's a lot of undercoating places got in trouble.
Right.
So there's a product that's like a paraffin wax. And if you look at, for years, the European cars, the Audis, the Mercedes, and that, you open the hood, it's got this milky looking, gooey substance underneath it. That's a paraffin wax that they spray underneath in the engine compartment on the edges. You can do the same thing. You can buy that. You can put it inside your doors, just a extremely light film of that. It seeps into the crack, and then it will become almost like a, not rock hard, not crack or anything, but just like a gel.
Okay.
And that's the same thing. That goes down in those small cracks, and that water won't get in there, and it gets kicked out those holes.
Yeah, obviously those holes are for like excessive amounts of water, and then the rest of it settles. I mean, it's never going to get rid of it all.
Yeah. We cut so the way like a Chevy truck bedside is designed, there's an inner wheelhouse, and then the bedside goes on the side of it.
Yeah.
So we cut that off, and there was almost, I'd say, 1.5 inches of dirt that was just built up inside it.
Was that your truck?
No, that wasn't mine. It'll probably be like that if we have to put a box side on it.
Oh, man.
We did a Jeep, and this guy, I know him, he goes four-wheeling. He is not afraid to get it muddy. We pulled the fender off it, and it looked like it had a mud fender underneath it.
Oh, my goodness.
And you could take your finger and poke at it, and all the dirt would fall down. The dirt was almost a foot high in the fender, packed solid.
That's crazy.
So I mean, it would have been great if it was soaked with oil, because then it wouldn't have had ever had an issue.
Right.
But, it's that stuff just gathers places. Another thing to watch is if you park underneath trees. Take a look your cowl. Open up the hood. That cowl screen on top where your wiper arms are.
Yeah.
If it's packed with debris, that's settling everywhere else on the car. You've got to get that stuff off.
It actually just happened to my therapist.
Yeah.
He had to put his car in the shop for 2 days. Yeah.
Well, Fords, they had an issue. What would happen is they have the cowl area. Well, the debris would get down in it, and they have these little like weep holes that are rubber.
Right.
And so these little flaps will open up, and it'll drain the water. So all that debris gets in there, and the water has nowhere to go.
Yeah, it clogs it up.
So it fills up the cowl until it starts to run back inside where the heater is.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a dumb design.
And then it goes inside the car. So
He had water come inside his cabin.
yeah.
Was it a Ford?
No, it's an Audi.
Oh.
Another place to watch too is if you've got the sunroof has tubes and vents up top. So if there's an issue there, just easy way to check it, open up the sunroof, take a glass of water, dump it in that tube. If it drains out, it's good, it's clear. If it doesn't, what we do is we'll take a little bit of air pressure. Just put a little bit of air pressure to it, blow that tube out, and so then that water will drain right out.
Where does the water go?
So the tube will run through the roof, down the A-pillar, and then it goes right outside just the bottom of the fender.
I'm learning stuff. I didn't know that. I'm like, dump
Yeah.
some water on my. Oh, that's interesting.
Sunroof's open. Don't dump it in the hole.
Well, right. Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna try that.
I didn't know that. That's super cool.
Yeah. So third brake lights, Chevy trucks,
Yeah.
they leak. They leak all the time.
Yeah.
So you'll see a spot on your headliner. All of a sudden, wait a minute, why is that staying there? So those will start to leak. Then you just got to reseal them. Same thing with the clearance lights on the trucks. They'll start to leak too. So just all this little stuff that you just got to watch out for before winter comes.
Right.
It's little areas, because especially if it's starting to leak water a bit,
Right.
and then it freezes
Yeah.
and it expands, just like our beautiful Michigan roads.
Yeah, and it cracks.
Yep. So it'll spread it apart, and then it'll start leaking more.
Yeah. Ugh, water. We need it for so many things, yet it causes so much trouble in our life. So
realistically, Steve, and this is going to be my last question. Realistically, is this the treatment, the ceramic treatment? Is that something that you can do yourself, or is that? I mean,
It depends on the product.
okay.
I mean, because you see some of the product on Facebook, oh, buy this and look at
Yeah.
we did
But
half
is
the.
that,
Well-
is that even worth it? Though?
well,
I
we're
mean-
talking about it now, so Facebook will now show me an ad for it. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
I'll give it 24 hours, and I will see an ad for some sort of ceramic, whatever.
Yep. F11.
F11.
You'll see that. You'll see that coming up.
So I think you could probably buy it and do it yourself, but the problem is getting it to the level that you want it to
Right.
get. I don't think a homeowner. I mean, I'm sure we could, but who's going to spend the time to do that?
Well, the key is to have a professional bring the paint back up.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
it's going to be almost impossible for just Joe Blow to do that.
And then you would do basically the maintenance routine to it.
Yeah.
So you might use the F11, some other product you see, some spray on, something easy, and do that maybe every 2 months.
Okay.
So, but the key is to bring that back up, bring
So
that
you
shine back
really
up.
want to get it back first.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
For sure.
And that does make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But I never would do that myself.
Oh no, me neither. But I know there's lots of people in our community that would.
No. I might put the ceramic on, but I would never attempt to try to bring it.
No.
I mean, I'm sure you could buff it and buff it and buff it.
Oh, we enjoy when people do that. That's the body shop side of me enjoys when people try and buff their own car.
Oh yeah, the lawn fertilization side of me in the spring when people use a drop spreader and they think it's a broadcast spreader and there's these green lines through the lawn.
sure.
Anybody can do it.
I get the biggest smile on my face and I'm like, oh yeah, wife's gonna be happy with that one.
Right.
Okay. What other tips off the top of your head can you think of? Like, because the road salt is just the worst, but I know obviously the ceramic on there will help protect that. But man, I feel like if I spent like $200-300 on that detail, I wouldn't want to go through the car wash to wear that down. But
I don't know though. I mean, because I think it does so much more to it though, right?
well, here's the
That's
thing. So we bring it up to snuff. We put the ceramic on. Can we just come back in 6 months and have you put the ceramic on again and save money and not having to bring it, up
Right.
to
Yep.
snuff? Because in theory, it should be okay after 6 months. You bring it back.
Yeah.
And,
Yep. Because there's rejuvenating sprays that they put on and stuff like that
Yeah.
to keep it going, and that's something that the owner could do.
Okay.
So
Oh.
it all depends on what level you're looking for.
Right.
There's like I said, I think one of the most expensive levels we have, it's like $2,800, and I mean those are usually Porsches, Ferraris,
Yeah,
right.
stuff like
yeah.
that.
that they really don't need it because they drive it 3 miles
No.
a year.
Not people who rideshare drive.
Right. But we did. We've been doing a couple used car lot stuff, and we did a black Tahoe.
Okay.
And we just simply did a 1-step with a 6-month ceramic spray on it, and that was it. And it was sat around. The guy didn't pick it up. Got a little dusty, and the guy picked it up, and he's like, "Oh, I thought my car would be a little cleaner." I was like, "Well, you should have got it when we were done with it."
You should have told me you were coming. I would have washed it.
Exactly. So he jumped in it, took off, and he called us, and he said all that dust was on there. He goes, "It blew off going down the road." He said, "I cannot believe it."
Wow.
So
Yeah, because normally that doesn't. A little bit will blow off, but if
Yeah.
you don't have anything, it sticks.
yeah,
And you went, "You're welcome."
right. So we did it just to check it out, just to experiment.
There's nothing better than a black shine. I don't know, man. That looks so sweet.
When it's sweet, it's sweet.
Yeah.
But, I chose to paint our shop truck black, and sometimes I'm just like, what in the hell was I doing?
Right. Especially in the winter.
The winter, spring, when the pollen,
Oh.
you get that green.
yeah, I got a black car.
glow to it.
Yeah, I got the black hot pilot. So, so anything else that you want to chat about?
There's also, you can actually go and get the rubberized undercoating.
Okay.
So a lot of the guys with the Chevy trucks, it's in an aerosol can.
Oh.
So like the frames on Chevy trucks are usually not painted. They're just come with that kind of sappy undercoating on them from the factory, and you can reapply that stuff.
Okay.
Think about it as you're going down the road. Where are rocks and debris coming from,
Sure.
and where are they going to hit?
Yeah.
So when you look at like the bottoms of the fenders, the bottoms of the rockers, stuff like that, that's all areas that you can try and protect.
Sure.
But
So with yeah, I don't know what consists of an undercoating. Like they do the frame. Like how do you not spray like the muffler or yeah, I mean like what is the main areas like
well, it's like it's like an it's an aerosol can.
Okay.
So when you're spraying it, so I mean, if you were to write your name with an aerosol can, you do it a couple times, you can get pretty good with it. So
right. Yeah,
not-
that's true.
You're not. It's got an arrow, so you don't shoot yourself in the face too. So
Yeah.
same direction.
So what areas do they undercoat protect?
What we do is we'll actually shoot the whole bottom side of the car.
Oh.
So from what they call the rocker panels, that's what you kick with your feet when you're trying to get your shoes clean before you get in your car.
Yeah.
Those are rocker panels. So from there inward, on
You
the
spray
bottom,
everything?
we'll spray everything.
Oh.
So we don't shoot the exhaust. You don't shoot the drive shaft, the
Right,
rear
right,
end, anything like that. But you'll spray that. It's also got some sound deadening qualities too.
Okay.
So it'll actually quiet the car up a little bit, and
Nice.
it makes it chip resistant on the bottom. It's a thick black rubberized coating.
Interesting.
Yep. So that can help too.
Very nice.
You got any other questions?
No, I'm all set.
I kind of like to get talk about the detail a little more in regards to just like what is a I'm sure a lot of people want to hear this, like what's a inside detail cost in regards to, I mean, are there levels?
There are a ton of
Oh,
levels.
man, 'cause, like-
we got all kinds of levels.
Okay, yeah, I just Mister has a little bit of and I know I brought him up earlier, but they do an $8 detail, right? Okay, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not bad. They clean the mats, they wipe all the vinyl, not the vinyl, what the hell, the plastic down the front,
Sure.
and
The
all
dash.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's it's $8, but it gets by.
Takes them 10 minutes.
Yeah, it takes them 10 minutes. I mean, it's 2 or 3 guys, but
Sure.
what does your levels start at in regards to, like, you probably have to drop the car off and
Yep. You drop the car off. I'd say a 4-door sedan inside, you'd be somewhere around probably 160-ish.
Okay.
You got a blonde lab, it's gonna be a lot more.
Right.
So there's dog hair everywhere. We're gonna spend it's just time.
So it's interesting. You quote the bring it up to paint in the 6 month at like $250, and I feel so it must be much more labor intensive to detail the inside of a car. You must have some sort of equipment that does the outside really quick. Because they're only $100 more to bring the paint up to a brilliant shine and put the ceramic on.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's step 1, step 2, step 3. It's just all spending time.
That's true.
Because usually you break down detailing. In Michigan, you're figuring probably about $60 an hour is what you should be making.
Okay.
So for spending 2 hours, it's $120.
Okay.
So and when we quote something, you're trying to reach that $60 an hour.
Right.
So it isn't
Oh,
it isn't like you pull in and we say, oh, well, we're going to start on it. We're going to be $60 an hour and let's see how long it takes.
Right. Yeah.
So,
no, you're estimating. You're looking at it. Yeah. You're
Right.
not just gonna be like, 6 hours later.
Yeah, here we go. Guy was on break eating a sandwich, but we charge you for it.
We charge you for it. No.
But the big difference is none of this is cookie cutter, right? I mean, if everything is specifically to the car, you'll get into everything. Everything will be
Right.
clean and complete
Right.
and detailed.
We've had it where we take the seats out.
Oh,
So
jeez.
we'll pull the seats right out of the vehicle and clean it. So it depends on what
you
level
don't do
you're
that,
looking
mister.
for.
So wait, you will fix a loose bolt on a seat. It all comes
yeah.
back to the loose bolt
Yeah.
on my car.
Yeah, your sliding seat.
No, there's so many nooks and crannies like between my seat and the center console. I look down there, I'm like, something's growing down
What I
there.
really want to know is, do I get all my coins back?
It's funny you say that because 2 weeks ago we had a girl. She comes in the shop and she's freaking out. Right, she lost her wedding ring.
Oh,
And she
no.
said I play volleyball. I got done with volleyball. I went to put it on and I heard it tumble. And she couldn't find it. And she's looking everywhere in that. So we actually took the seat out, pulled the carpet back, and it was about 12 inches from the seam of the carpet
Oh, wow.
on the bottom of the car.
Oh, wow.
Underneath?
No, on the between the carpet and the bottom of the car.
Oh, how did it get under there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man, I bet she was ecstatic.
She was, and she got 50 cents out of it too. 'Cause we found 2 quarters back there.
You know, in Dutch Michigan, if you keep that change, people will be like, I know there's at least $3 down there.
Yeah, it was a test.
I heard it clink, clink. Okay, that's 76 cents. Okay, I better write that down somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like you guys can keep it. That's, put it for a donut fund for Friday morning or something like that.
She gave us a very nice review, that's for sure.
Okay.
She was freaking out.
Well, that's above and
yeah.
beyond, I think, to do that. So,
Definitely. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I don't think we have any other questions. And
you got anything else?
I think we're good. It's always a
Okay.
pleasure talking to you guys. Always, you guys are very receptive on educating people on how to take care of their cars. So we appreciate it.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good night.